What's up guys, Stix here. As we're approaching the end of December, I figure I may as well do my final top video of the year and have Wiggy follow up with her own next week. The point of this video isn't to list the best, the most popular, or even the most visually pleasing MMORPGs. Nope. This video will instead be a list of the MMORPGs I personally enjoy, and what MMORPGs I look forward to and will no doubt be playing going into 2018. You may disagree with these games, and you are more than welcome to. You do, after all, have your own personal opinion, likes, and dislikes just like I do. But at the end of the day, I get asked what MMORPGs I play and what MMORPGs I recommend people play every day through Discord, through Twitter, Facebook. This video will just allow me to kinda blanket link everyone that asks and have them all have their questions answered. Do note though that not all of these games are games like Black Desert or Final Fantasy XIV. Some games are just basic, some look basic, some play basic, but at their core they are all games that I would personally recommend and still play. Also, one more quick thing, let me know in the comments section what your favorite MMORPGs are going into the new year. Never have I been so enthralled with an MMORPG's world and characters as I was in DC Universe Online. I had the option of listing Champions Online or DC Universe Online here, but I had to go with DC Universe Online because, well, I mean, the game is just superior in so many ways. It has action combat, so no need to swap between targets like Champions Online. It looks significantly better. I mean, it feels significantly better. The graphics and world overall just look like it came out of a much higher quality game. Then you have the voice acting in the game, which in my opinion really brings it up to an entirely different level. The voice acting is some of the best in an MMORPG if you ask me, especially when you compare it to something like Blatant Soul or Black Desert Online. Playing both Champions and DC Universe, you're given a look at the absolutely monumental difference between games, even though they both occupy the superhero MMORPG niche. I personally enjoy DC Universe Online so much, plus it has all those DC babes in it, something no other MMORPG has. I mean, what more reason should you need? Whoa there, back up a second. I feel you scrolling down already to dislike this video, but hear me out. Aura Kingdom under the publishing of Area Games is a terrible game. However, the base Aura Kingdom game itself is definitely not so. Both Wiggy and I have played a very fun private server of Aura Kingdom with thousands of active players that has increased rates and it has no pay-to-win bullshit. Our experience there was actually incredible, as our previous attempts at playing Aura Kingdom broke my soul a little each time. I mean, I'm not going to link to the private server naturally, but suffice it to say that Aura Kingdom looks beautiful and plays fantastically for an anime MMORPG when not under the control of Area Games. Now couple that with the lack of Area Games as their actual publisher, and the game is a ton of fun to play. And furthermore, is actually something I could recommend to people interested in an anime MMORPG. I am a huge Pokemon fan. I have been playing Pokemon games since I was a kid with the Game Boy Color and Pokemon Yellow. I have played every single iteration of Pokemon since, so naturally when I realized there were several large Pokemon MMORPGs online, I had to investigate, right? I mean, after navigating through all of the garbage, I managed to narrow it down to two Pokemon MMORPGs. PokeMMO and Pokemon Revolution Online. And while some people argue that PokeMMO is the superior Pokemon MMORPG, the fact is that Pokemon Revolution is just so much better looking and much better playing to me. It may lack a few features that PokeMMO has, but when the game is this large, looks this good, and plays this well, I just can't really dissociate with it. Regardless, Pokemon Revolution really ticks off everything I love about the Pokemon games. And the fact that it's in my favorite region, the Kanto region, and further covers the Johto region as well is absolutely amazing. Both Wiggy and I played through Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen a couple years ago, and it was an absolutely magical RPG to experience. I admit I may have played it a little too much, pushing hundreds of hours into multiple characters just because I enjoyed the combat. Dragon's Dogma is essentially what Monster Hunter Online is to the Monster Hunter franchise, a complete online version of the game, and it is much better than I could have ever imagined. Being a huge fan of Dragon's Dogma, I figured the MMORPG counterpart would have sucked, or at the very least not lived up to my expectations of the game. However, that was far from the truth, actually, as the game incorporates the same things from Dark Arisen that I enjoyed, things other MMORPGs don't really do. So the combat may not be on par with Black Desert, but the graphical style and the combat are both very, very high quality. Adding on to that is the world interaction. You can pick things up, you can climb buildings, structures, I mean monsters themselves. It is fan-fucking-tastic, man. I cannot believe it hasn't been ported over to the West yet. It is ridiculous. Probably one of the most entertaining MMORPGs I have ever played. Final Fantasy XIV has had an active subscription from me since the launch of A Realm Reborn. I have gone back and forth between the games so many times and I still haven't gotten bored. And yes, I can understand that some people may find it monotonous, slow, too story driven. But for me, that is part of the appeal. Never ever have I seen so much story in an MMORPG outside of maybe Star Wars The Old Republic. You're completely pulled into the story of the game, and although certain regions and locales are blocked off from you due to the need to progress through the story, the actual feeling of progression has never, ever felt more real. Seeing your NPC allies evolve and progress just as you do as you make progress through the game is something not many MMORPGs do. So yes, the story may drag on at times, but never has an MMORPG world felt more complete to me. And I have played World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, The Elder Scrolls Online, all MMORPGs like that through quite extensively. I cannot stress enough how excited I am for Chronicles. I know it won't be getting a Western release in 2018, but if it releases in the East in 2018, then I am more than happy playing it there until it gets ported over. I think Soul Worker Online is probably the best looking anime MMORPG currently released, and even Soul Worker looks kinda dated in comparison to Chronicles. From what we've seen, the combat it's unique and an interesting approach to take. The graphical style is probably the most breathtaking anime MMO I have ever seen, possibly even better than most anime games in general. And finally, it is taking a much more Western approach to the game, giving people control over the game world, much like the majority of Western MMORPGs slated for future releases. The features, which you can find in one of Wiggy's videos actually, combined with how amazing the overall game looks, makes this one of my most anticipated MMORPGs, or even games in general next year. I'm not sure how many of you have even heard of this one, but I have been playing it off-screen for a little while, and I gotta say, as far as side-scrolling action MMORPGs go, Dungeon Fighter is one of the better ones. I know, a lot of you are probably gonna argue that Elsword is one of, if not the best. And although I can agree that Elsword is a ton of fun, Dungeon Fighter is just a much more mature variant, and I like that. I also like the style of sprites employed in Dungeon Fighter. It makes the graphical style really stand out and set itself apart from other games like Elsword, MapleStory, and other games like them. While I haven't really gotten too far, the story combined with the fun combat system and great graphical style that I cannot stress how much I love makes for an incredibly interesting game you have to try if you haven't already. You may not enjoy it, you may not even like the style of the game, but if you do, and you have yet to give this game a try, you are missing out. Okay, so I pretty much neglected to ever include Warframe in an MMORPG list video because I don't feel like it's really an MMORPG, but I keep being told it should be included. So here it is. I play Warframe, my wife has played Warframe, Wiggy has played Warframe, hell, my mother has played Warframe. That is how good of a game this is. Its combat plays like something out of a console game, I guess, and its graphical style reminds me of a AAA sci-fi title, really setting itself apart from pretty much every other sci-fi MMO out there. Making use of swords, bows, and guns is always fun for me, as I hate archery, yet somehow main Hanzo in Overwatch, while Wiggy loves it and neglects it in Warframe, funny enough. Realistically, I still don't classify it an MMORPG, but I did feel the need to include it here regardless because people want it included in something, and I personally cannot argue enough how good this game actually is. So I left this until the end because, hell, if I included it any earlier, you probably would have labeled me as a WoW fanboy and closed right out of the video. Regardless, WoW has earned my subscription ever since Wrath of the Lich King. It captivated me in a way that no other MMORPG really could. And even though it's been pretty hit and miss in terms of how good and worth playing it's been since, the fact is that it's still a fantastic game, and I am still a fucking WoW fanboy. I have played through every expansion since Wrath of the Lich King, and I am beyond hyped about classic servers and Battle for Azeroth. So with that being said, yes, I do highly recommend and highly believe that World of Warcraft is worth playing if you have never played it before, or even if you're looking to get back into it. It is one of the few MMORPGs that are all but a requirement to have played and experienced. So these are pretty much the games, or rather the MMORPGs, that I've been playing fairly consistently all year and will be continuing into next year. I've been playing Terra and Blade and Soul with my wife as well, but they're her favorite games, not mine. If you made it to the end of this video, then please go ahead and tell me what your favorite MMORPGs are in the comment section below. I would love to find out. Anyway, that is it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next vid. Later.
We fell out of love like shooting stars, came crashing down.